If I can get your attention, please, I'd like to call our Wednesday, January 12th meeting to order. At 7, please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can you take roll, Mary?
Murray?
Here.
Grimby?
Here.
Getzinger?
Here.
Eric?
Yep.
Swacky here.
Our first item of business is, of course, the approval of the December 8th regular meeting minutes.
Motion to approve December 8th meeting minutes as presented.
Is there
I second.
support? Okay.
Who's that?
Jason, I
Jason.
think.
Yep. All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are a matter of record. Set and amend the agenda. I'm going to say
Motion to approve agenda as
as
presented.
presented. Is there support?
Support.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
We'll work on this agenda. Bills? Get a motion and a second, and we'll discuss any of the bills that anybody wants to.
I'll make a motion to approve the previously paid flyer bills, $8,377.07. General fund, $8,949.72. Payroll, fire, $107,098.65. General, $29,383.41. Current open invoices, fire, $6,077.65. General fund, $9,405.99. Tax disbursements, $1,316,552.99. Trust and agency paid, $6,245. Open trust and agency, $3,705, for a total of $1,495,765.48.
Support.
Is there any discussion on any of the bills presented?
Getzinger?
Nothing. Yes.
Grimby?
Yes.
Swack, yes. Pederick?
Yes.
Murray?
Yes.
Okay. Public comments.
Good evening, Mr. Supervisor, honorable board members. My name is Jamie Green. I currently sit on the Richmond City Council, and I have for the past 10 years. I appreciate the fantastic working relationship that the city has with the township. I am here to introduce myself because I'm running for state representative for Jeff Yarrick's term limited seat. And that is just to introduce myself, and I'll hang around after your meeting. It's kind of exciting. You have a retirement celebration tonight as well. So thank you for a moment at the podium.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Jeff.
Good evening, Supervisor and honorable board members. Instead of Jeff Yarrick, I am the state representative for at least one more year. You know, it's amazing how fast it goes. You know, I have one more year. I'm still working hard. I got plenty of things still to do, but it's amazing how fast the time goes. It's definitely been an honor to serve this area, and I will continue for the last year that I'm here. Just again, want to touch base. It's nice to see Councilor Green here. As you know, I'm a big advocate of local government. I'm a big champion for remembering the value of the team, the relationship between local and state, that we're supposed to work together. And I think Councilor Green, with her years of experience on the city council, appreciates local government. I think she's a great candidate to continue on in this position, you know, after me. So just a few tidbits. Again, we're still aggressively working to assist our constituents. Just want to remind people that my office is available to assist. We have a lot of unemployment claims and issues with the state, which we're going to still, you know, we'll be working on. I just got appointed in the last month to the oversight committee, so it's definitely where I belong, is working on oversight issues and trying to ensure that state government functions the way it's supposed to function. So it's kind of, that was an additional add to my duties there. Just a little heads up. We kind of wanted to tell something we're kind of proud of. You know, we talk about the pandemic and all the issues. Something I'm proud of sharing is that my stockpile bill passed, and what we're going to start doing is, I remember in March of 2020, for the first 3 months, we ran out of PPE, personal protective equipment, you know, for healthcare workers and firefighters, EMS. My bill has passed that the state's going to maintain a 2-month supply of PPE to ensure that if we have another pandemic, that we won't run short as we wait for the national Stockpile to show up or suppliers to build up their supply. So again, all of you have you have a fire department, so I'm sure you're very sensitive to the issue of making sure your firefighters are protected. And this was something that, as a former firefighter, I was happy to do to make sure we take care of those providers and healthcare, the healthcare providers during that period. So again, I'll be staying around if anybody has any questions, as always, and again, just reinforce that I am available.
Okay, thank you.
Show Mary that.
Are there any other public comments?
Oh, I can't help it. I don't know. Flash.
I'll make you a deal. You do Kurt,
Yes, I can.
and I'll do Neil.
Okay.
May we have Kurt Esper and Neil Board approach the board, please? I can't.
Resolution recognizing Kurt Esper, Sergeant, upon his retirement after 25 years and 3 months of service to the Township of Armada. Whereas the Township of Armada is desirous of recognizing long-term employees, and whereas Kurt Esper was hired as a firefighter on October 1st, 1996, and currently holds the rank of Sergeant. And whereas Kurt Esper's exemplary performance of his duties and responsibilities and his working relationships were always characterized by outstanding diligence to his profession. And whereas Kurt Esper's dedicated interest and devotion to duty has and had a valuable effect of efficiency and morale to the fire department and the township. And whereas Kurt Esper will retire on January 13th, 2022, after serving the citizens of the Township of Armada for 25 years and 3 months. Therefore now be resolved that the Township Board extends respect and appreciation on behalf of a grateful township to Sergeant Kurt Esper for his devotion to duty on behalf of the citizens of Armada Township. Passed by the Township Board and signed by Supervisor on this 13th day of January 2020.
A resolution recognizing Neil Moore, Sergeant, upon the retirement after 25 years of service to the Township of Armada, whereas the Township of Armada is desirous of recognizing long-term employees, and whereas Neil Moore has hired as a firefighter on January 4th, 1997, and currently holds the rank of Sergeant, and whereas Neil Moore's exemplary performance of his duties and responsibilities and his working relationship were always characterized by outstanding diligence to his profession. And whereas Neil Moore's dedicated interest and devotion to duty have had a valuable effect of efficiency and morale to the fire department and the township. And whereas Neil Moore will retire on January 13th, 2022, after serving the citizens of the Township of Armada for 25 years. Now therefore be it resolved that the Township Board extends respect and appreciation on behalf of the grateful township to Sergeant Neil Moore for his devotion to duty on behalf of the citizens of Armada Township, passed by the Township Board and signed by the Supervisor on this 13th day of January 2022.
Chief Crouch, if you do the honors, please, gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this moment to thank both these gentlemen. I'm going to just kneel because it's about my same age and I'm the old guy. But I know for years these guys have worked hard, provided service to the citizens. And not only do I want to thank them, but I want to thank the family. Because I know the dinners are really long. I know that the events that they had to get up and go and the support they got from their family, and that's huge. As far as we all know that we're on 24/7, whether you're a career or volunteer fire department. They've also watched this department evolve from a volunteer department to a full-time department. There's some stories there. And in this time I've been here about 23rd years, we've had some good times, we've had some calls that were pretty tense. And they were both outstanding and huge assets. They will be greatly missed. They will always be one cup of coffee or a seat for you to come join us. We are extremely grateful. With that, these belong to you and they'll always go. one of the last days each of you are on shift, there's a flag that flew over that city, that flew over the township hall, or I'm sorry, the fire department. And that has been taken down and been given to you from the department as a thank you. And then lastly, I don't ever want you to not be able to get out a ticket. Again, I thank you so much for your service, your friendship, your time together. Appreciate it. Thank you, Chief. Congratulations.
And as a passing gesture on behalf of the township board, we want you to adore yourself home or at your cabin. And remember that we're very proud of you. And when times were tough, you were very honest. You affected a great change in our fire department. I'm always going to be proud of you.
I would just take 1 second just to say, I could have asked for a greater group of guys to work with. For 25 years, there's been a lot of people that have come in and out the doors, and I couldn't be prouder to work with every one of you. It's an understatement to say, I mean, they literally have my life in their hands, and my life is in their hands when we go to a house. So, thank you.
Same here. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, that's hard to do. Good men.
You're just crying because it's not you, John.
I just hope they don't start lining up. DIA Inside Out. Mary, you want to shed some light on
Yep,
this?
Sure. I met with Ian Rapinski from the DIA Inside Out program in November, and I took him around town. He wanted to see some places that we could hang art. I took him to the Township Hall. We went to Dr. Khan's next door, the chiropractor's office, Armada, Michigan, and he took pictures of each site. Just
Are these the same as last time, generally?
no, they're different.
A little
They're
bit different, yeah.
Yeah, the pictures are different also. The library, I talked to Margaret at the library, she's more than happy. We also are gonna put one at the April Millset Memorial Garden, the Township Park also, and at Blake's Orchard. And we hope to have them up in, I believe, May through October. So we're just getting the agreement signed right now.
There will be a total of 7 works of art from the DIA,
Right,
and the only one I have left to get is the Armada, Michigan. I
Okay.
should have that tomorrow.
perfect, thank you.
Seen it before.
Yeah, it's another, Romeo had this last year.
Right,
They try to,
We did
they
it a
kind of
couple-
put them in the north end, so
Drop
we'll
people
have them
down.
pretty much the same time they'll have them.
Okay.
Yeah, people like to drive around and try to find them, and they turn scavenger hunts, they turn them into scavenger hunts and such. Chief? Fire department? Oh, yeah, no, you're not going for cake yet. And Lisa?
Yes,
Just because I have a moment, thank you for your service to our township.
you're welcome.
We miss you.
Yeah.
You're welcome back anytime.
For the month of December, the fire department responded to 62 EMS runs, 9 fire, totaling 71. We provided aid once. Overlapping calls were 16.9%. I also, in there, also included a copy of the yearly report. And for the year, for 2021, we had 947 EMS runs, 210 fire runs, totaling 1,157. Last year's numbers was documented, was a little skewed because 365 of the runs were actually daily reports that were required to have. So if you really look at it, we had quite a big uptick this year in calls. Any questions?
So we provided mutual aid 29 times and we received it 14.
Correct.
And out of these incidents, in just EMS in general, 947, is there any analytics on the numbers itself of what, is this corporate business versus residential?
It's very, very consistent with fire departments throughout America, that percentage of fire versus EMS. Where they're located at, some of the nursing homes, some's residential, I mean, it's all over.
Okay,
If you actually get into where it's broken up by area, that gives you kind of a good snapshot, where we've gone. It's, the one page, it shows
sure.
the zones of the, by percentage. And it's kind of consistent. Oh, that's, sorry, that's wrong. Any questions?
No, thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Our ordinance report, I have a call into Chris Anderson. I went to the address 77955 K-Pac Road. There was equipment parked in the driveway. I couldn't get on the property, so I'm asking for permission, and I'm also asking for the homeowner to be notified that we're coming out to do a final inspection. The possible fence ordinance, I was called by Rachel Atkins yesterday. She should have 5 copies of the print this week. She was supposed to have them yesterday. I haven't received them yet. And the one that isn't on here, that's really a building code situation right now, after we've received new information on inspections based on medical grows, we've turned that information over to our attorney, and we should have an answer by Friday. He's in depositions right now. And so by Friday, we should be able to make the determination as to whether or not they're going to be grandfathered or whether they'll have to move to the industrial corridor. Our monthly building report for December 2021, we issued 1 permit for addition miscellaneous, 3 homes, 4 electrical, 7 mechanical, and 2 plumbing, for a total of 17 permits, and there were 39 building inspections. Planning Commission didn't have a meeting. No PDR. Parks and Recreation, Gary?
What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to let you know the flagpole rope, they came out Monday, this is just an update from Monday. They came out Monday to replace it. Well, evidently, there's a water buildup at the bottom of the pole. So the rope goes down in the water, it's frozen, so they can't replace it. They'll be back out when it gets warmer. Now, normally I would have replaced the flag before it got cold, so I wouldn't have retouched it in the winter time. So this is all new to me. So we learned something today. So they think when it's warm enough, they'll come out and replace the cord. Second of all, Chad Nickel called me regarding lights for the East Township field. This has been an ongoing discussion for a number of years, a lot of money involved. But Jason, I don't know if you knew, but Chad Nickel was part of putting the scoreboards up in the park, and he got a lot of contractors to donate their time and their money to do the work on it. And we had to put a part in, like 10 grand, I think, or 11 grand
We paid for the
to pay for
boards
stuff like that.
themselves,
But the majority of the work was donated. Now, this is gonna be a similar project to put the lights up on the East Township field. He doesn't have a quote together yet, he's working on it, but he wants to be able to get it done this year. Because what happens is these contractors, they're willing to do the work and donate their time, but they wanna get it done in a timely manner. He doesn't wanna have to put it out till next year. So what I'm gonna be looking for is some kind of money to put in the budget to help pay for these lighting. Now, the one estimate we got in 2018, I think, was for $87,000.
About 90
For
grand.
the whole job.
Yeah.
Well, these guys are gonna be donating their time, and I think some of the wiring is already done for it. So what I'm looking for, maybe in the budget, means that we put aside some money to help pay for the lighting for the East Township field.
What wiring is done for the lights already?
I think when they ran the scoreboards, when they trenched it or line bored it, I think they actually added extra wiring,
Okay,
thinking that we might get lights at some point.
all right.
That's at least on the East Township field. So maybe some of that's already done. I have to check with Chad. But what I wanted to just mention is that I'm hoping Chad can get some kind of estimate together what it may cost the township to do this project. And so when the budget meetings come up, we can talk about some money.
Yeah, so we have a meeting next week. I don't know if he's gonna have anything to you by then. That might be a good time to talk about it.
When are the budget meetings?
Next week,
Next week,
Tuesday.
Tuesday, remember
We
I
have a-
put it in the email?
We have
Okay.
three
We
of
have
them.
3 of them,
So,
right?
We
yeah.
got 3, yeah.
So, okay, I put them on the hot seat.
Yeah, the 18th
Our
isn't
first
really a
one's on
drop dead,
Tuesday.
but we have one 2
Okay.
weeks after that, so,
Yeah.
yep, you know, between.
Anytime within those 3 meetings, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll probably do the 3rd one like the last time we went in the door.
I was encouraging you to come to the next one, just to give you extra,
Yeah, well,
get it started.
any questions on any of that?
No, it's been discussed for quite a while.
We've been talking about it. I mean, they did an excellent job on the scoreboards. They withstand the tornado. They're still standing. They work great. Everybody's happy with them. So I'm hoping we can get a same type of project with lighting. Did you want to talk about the entranceway or?
No, I think that would be, we could talk about it at the same time though, at the
Okay.
budget meeting, yeah.
All right, I'm good. Any questions? That's
No,
it?
I'm good.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks for keeping us
Thank you.
posted.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Gary.
Water and sewer update. I was contacted by the Public Works about a week and a half ago by Candace Miller. She pulled together a meeting today with Bruce, Romeo, Ray, Washington, Armada. Chet Zukowski was also attended the meeting, Commissioner Brown, and multiple layers of folks at the Public Works Department. And it's been obvious from not only our years of work to try to get utilities in there, but it was also obvious to the county once we made it to the public hearing for annexation, that there's a need for that utility in the north end without hurting communities. And Candace Miller has pledged to do their part and understand that there's some help needed up here. So several ideas were thrown out. However, none of the ideas were really firm. Everything from, building a plant to taking over an existing plant and expanding it to, working with the plant in Washington with Ray and Armada and Bruce with Romeo. So it was a very good discussion. I think the meeting lasted almost 2 hours, hour and a half. And so now we have to wait for them to come back. They've asked their engineers to do studies on the wastewater plants in the area and find out what kind of capacities and expansions they have. And they also want the information we have from our engineering as far as running the water sewer lines and what the topographical lay of the land is. So, instead of having them come out with their engineers and start this thing all over again, Romeo, Armada, Bruce, everybody has all that information. So we're gonna turn our stuff over to their engineers to help keep things in order.
That sounds promising. I know that the county's been talking for years really about the potential need for that countywide,
The
working
big
together.
thing was the interceptor,
Yeah.
and that just, $30 million to go 2 miles is cumbersome.
Yeah, I get that. Now, just given the history of the project and all that, and the importance of that, I would say that meeting, because the annexation, will you be maybe putting that, could you put that in writing, like meeting minutes? Will somebody be?
They'll be supplied
They'll do
by
that?
by the engineer from the county, so,
Perfect.
yeah. Once I get
Just for
those,
our
I'll turn
record.
them over. It just, again, it happened today, and it was
Yeah, I
called
get
on the
that.
part of the Public Works Department.
Perfect, thank you.
So. Macomb Orchard Trail, I saw the bill for the maintenance and the
Membership,
membership. Senior Center,
7,000. It's 5,000 for the maintenance and 2,000 for,
the membership.
membership. Membership's $10,000, it'll be over in a couple of years. I think it's 10.
Was it 10 or, I think it was somewhere around there, 10 or 12. And then the Senior Center, I didn't get anything from
I
Donna.
got nothing from Donna, no.
Internet Subcommittee?
Treasurer first.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay, you guys have in front of you all of the bank recs and everything. Taxes are continuing to roll in, subsequent disbursements are being paid out accordingly. As you can see from the summary report I gave you, I did move $20,000 from a low yield member account into a higher yield investment account. after speaking with the lending institution, the bank in question, I didn't understand why so much was left in a lower yield account for no apparent reason, so I moved it up into a higher yield account. I'm still working on trying to find some other avenues to move some investments. I haven't really found anything that I was comfortable with at this point, but I'm still working on looking into that so that we can make the most out of the money that we have. And that's it for that.
Now, Internet Subcommittee.
Okay. So kind of exciting. I know that most of you have already heard the rumblings that we're closer than ever to finally being able to connect to reliable internet. While it seems like it's been a long time, the reality is that it's gone much quicker than we could have anticipated. Chris Martin, Sean Weber, and myself have been working hard throughout this whole time to get as much information during this grant process as possible, relay it to everybody when we had information. There were many times Sean drove around the township verifying map coordinates and everything else, and Chris and I had gone out and done some work too. So I mean, we've really all been all in all this time. They've been a great team to work with. I also want to acknowledge Mr. Tom Delisle, who has been amazing with communication and worked diligently to address concerns that residents have had. He's a foreman with Lecom Contractors, who is a contractor for Comcast. If I've had any questions or had any concerns, I called him. He was right on top of things. And this whole grant process was also possible because of the support of Representative Yarrick too. So I want to thank you for your continued support to help us get out of this black hole situation. Right now, although we do not have a set in stone date as of yet, it's coming soon, we're finally able to start making headway and get everybody happy. So I've asked Armada Township resident and an account executive, Mr. Rodney Wilmoth, to be here. He's actually online, I'm hoping.
Yep, Rodney's here.
Okay, and he is going to give you the latest and greatest information. He's joining us remotely. He's got everything, and I'm going to turn it over to you, Rodney.
Please, Rodney, thank you very much for attending tonight.
Thank you. I got to keep it kind of vague. I work directly for Comcast, but it is kind of vague. But it's very exciting because I've been not waiting as long as most, but I've been waiting too as long, quite a while. You should be able to. We should have things. We have a date set, but things change, so I can't exactly say what date we have yet because it's already changed a few times. So we'll know more in the next week or two moving forward, and it's going to be not everything all at once is going to be activated. It's going to be in sections. Okay, so we have some addresses and stuff that I can't give out, but those are going to be the first ones. There's about 800 addresses or so or more that will be activated first. But I'm thinking in the next few weeks, you should see residents getting activated. I'm sorry to be so vague, but it's kind of an internal thing, and we want to make sure that we're very Comcast wants it very private until we're sure, because we don't want to say a date and then it changes, and then we get flooding of calls and on your part and our part. So, but it's coming soon. So we're there. We're in the final steps. Everything is construction's completed, so we're in the final steps.
Okay, is there going to be like door hangers, mailers, anything like
Yeah.
that residents can start looking for in the next week
Yeah.
or two or three?
Yes, in the next, I'd say within the next 2 weeks, just look for it on your door or on your mailbox. If your address is mailed, has a flyer, or your door has a flyer on it, that means it's activated, and you can call the number. I'm actually a representative, a sales representative for there, and I live here in Armada. So yeah, I have door hangers that are going to be going out too, as well as Comcast has theirs too as well, going in the mailbox as well.
And if I'm not mistaken, Rodney, correct me if I'm wrong, but this project really wasn't anticipated completion until 2023.
Correct.
Correct, or even closer to the end of 2022.
Correct.
So
I
what
want to thank Comcast for really getting it done, especially with the current COVID situation and the virtual meetings we're attending in school. And it's amazing what Comcast has done for us. I can't thank them enough.
And that's one of the reasons why things have been changing so much. We've had about 3 dates, and they've changed because of the COVID situation. There's a ramp up in COVID right now.
Yep.
So that's why some of the stuff has changed as well. So, and I've been corresponding with Sarah and stuff, and back and forth, and letting her know some information and everything. So, and my company's really excited about it. My supervisors are really excited. It's a win for us as an Armada. I have 4 kids that are here. That my oldest son works from home. My daughter does college a couple of days. She goes to Armada High and half day college, half day high school, and she works from home. So it's exciting for us too. My internet was 2 megs this week when I was trying to do stuff. So I'm looking forward to it too. So
Yeah, mine was out for 4 days completely, so I was not a happy
Well,
girl.
we appreciate that, Rodney. Is there anything else you can add to any activities coming up in the near future?
just look for on the social media, on your door hangers, mailbox, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
In the next few weeks, you should see something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rodney and I will keep in close contact, and I will be updating things as, he gives me the information, so that we keep everybody informed as quickly as possible. But thank goodness it's finally coming.
Well, it's
We're
certainly
getting there.
a big step in the right direction, that's for certain.
Yeah. Thanks a lot,
Thank you
Rodney.
very much for your time.
Oh, thank you very much for being here tonight, Rodney. I appreciate that.
I appreciate you guys.
All right. Cyber Subcommittee.
Yeah, we have a RFP in the business that we can look over, but I did want to take a moment since Representative Jeffrey Yardick is here, and Ms. Jamie Green, I am bipartisan, but since Jeffrey is here, I'm going to say thank you. Some of the fruit that came out of the working relationship with Jeffrey and I is I am in contact with Macomb County Cyber Commission, and I sent them the RFP. We're collaborating together just to make sure we have enough coverage. They have certainly deeper pockets and better tools than we do, so we're open to foster that relationship and maybe use some of their tools for our benefit as well. Also, one of the wins that came out that Jeffrey helped lead us to, I shared that the Michigan Township Association invited us out to their April annual conference, so I just wanted to let Jeffrey know that our work is being heard and being recognized as leaders in this field. So I appreciate your leadership there.
Happy to help on a number of issues for local government.
Yeah, thank you.
Good job.
I think you took care of the solar lighting, or?
No, we haven't, oh, sorry.
Let me-
I
I'll
thought
make
we
a
have an
motion
item
to
for today.
Receive and file
It's-
reports
It's
first.
maybe worded,
Yeah.
it's worded wrong, but we do have an item for that.
'Cause I'm thinking that's where we are, is unfinished business.
You want
We
to
have to file the reports first.
Yeah. Any
Yeah,
motion?
I thought Gary would come up, yeah.
Okay.
Come up.
Oh, you just said yes.
Well, we opted against the solar lighting, and we're gonna go back to the ground level LED lighting. And Jim had as an estimate or a quote for a company to do that for us.
Yes.
You have that on hand, Jim?
Yeah, it's in the packet, so
Okay.
everybody does
You
have
want
it.
That's the
What?
route we're gonna go.
Supreme Electric Service?
I think I know the number.
Okay, it's $650.
And this is LED and not solar,
It's
correct?
LED.
Right, right.
Good.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
before we, before we do any discussion, I'll make a motion to authorize Supreme Electric to install new LED light fixtures for the flagpole in the township park.
I'll second.
So, as Gary had mentioned, last meeting we did have, or maybe the last 2 meetings, we kind of talked about lights there. And I think the board generally seemed to support ground lighting. Gary's been having trouble with the fixtures that are there. This is the price to replace with 2 new LED fixtures. They're comparable, but LED to the ones that are there now, using the existing wiring that's there.
Right, we have a problem getting contractors to come out and quote, because it's a small project, but Jim,
Yeah,
I know somebody that came out.
Supreme Electric's in Richmond, and I've worked with them
Local.
many times, yeah.
Thank you.
Did you guys receive a file reports yet? Or is this
That's
I
how
made the
we
motion,
did
but
miss
it kind of
that step,
bypassed
yeah.
to him.
I second it.
Okay. Any
We're gonna
questions?
get these lights in.
Okay, reports of received and filed.
Thank you.
Okay, and Jim made a motion and I seconded it to, for Supreme Electric to install the LED light fixtures in the township park for $665, right?
Correct.
Grimmy?
Yes.
Gethinger?
Yes.
Swank, yes. Murray?
Yes.
Bitter.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you, Gary. And you too, Jim. Thank you. Okay. Fire department bids for our 1997 International Tanker Fire Truck.
We are expecting the delivery of our new tanker on the 18th. So in preparation of that, we put out the bids to sell the old one. It was advertised in Macomb Daily for 10 days. We got 2 to 3 calls on it. There was one local business that appeared to have some interest but did not bid. In the end, we did get one bid from a company called T-Line for the amount of $15,000. I did a lot of research on the value of it and the going price, and I am more than happy with the amount we got for it. I was looking at auction sites and looking in the magazines for used ones, and I'm very happy. I think in our budget, we only assumed $10,000. I'm requesting acceptance to accept the bid of $15,000 to T-Line. And they did put a 10% deposit down.
Yeah, I've got a check here.
You like that?
Yeah.
I have a question. I don't know if you want to make a motion
Sure,
first.
I'll make the motion to approve the sale of the 1997 International Five Guys tanker to T-Line EV LLC for the amount of $15,000.
Support.
So this was just in the Macomb Daily?
Yeah, we have advertised in Macomb
Is
Daily.
there a reason you didn't put it on like a equipment auction site?
Honestly, I truly believe no matter where we put it, we even got close to that. I looked at RepoCast that sells a lot of fire trucks, and like $25,000 to $5,000 is the most you get for anything like this. I looked in the used sales. We get a pamphlet, we get a book every month that comes. It far exceeds any of those that are for sale on those sites.
Okay. Thank you.
Grimby?
Yes.
Murray?
Yes.
Swank, yes. Getzinger?
Yes.
Bitter.
Yes. Make some room for the new.
It will be picked up Monday. We actually went down a couple days before it, so we can just get ready for it. The new one coming back right in.
How many offers did we get?
Just the one.
There's some sealed bid. I have all the paperwork right here.
Our next item on the agenda is the fire chief would like to roll over his vacation hours. In his contract, we buy the vacation hours out. He talked to me about it, and I told him because it was a modification to his contract that it would need to have approval from the board in order for us to move forward with that.
I'll make that motion to allow Chief Kratky to roll over his unused vacation hours to his 2022 bank in lieu of payment.
I'll second it.
And the reason for rolling over the vacation instead of taking the money was?
I got a lot of family events this year. I have a daughter who's graduating, going to college, another one going off to college. We're selling their family home and selling 2 homes and moving into 1. So there's a lot going on this year.
I know we talked last year, I think you weren't able to use your time.
Last year was just a crazy year.
Yeah,
The vacation
I know.
got canceled.
I think it's certainly.
We buy back the hours.
Yeah, I know, it's
Yeah.
certainly good for you and for the township, I think, to use them, so I'm actually glad that you're
Yeah.
rolling them over if you're able to use them, so.
And to be clear to the board, how many weeks of vacation will that give you? That'll give you 3?
That'll give me 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Kirby?
Yes.
Getzner?
Yes.
Murray?
No.
Swikey, yes. Hitter?
Yes. Closed township offices August 2nd for the primary election and November 8th for the general election.
Right, we always hold our AV counting board here, and I expect high turnout, so I'd like to close the office so that the girls can start opening up the envelopes early in the morning, so no one could be here. If someone is here, they have to stay here all the time.
Yep. Make the
So,
motion.
I'll make the motion to close the township offices on August 2nd and November 8th for election purposes.
I'll support it.
Okay.
Thank you. Murray?
Yes.
Swikey, yes. Grimby?
Yes.
Getzner?
Yes.
Hitter?
Yep.
Thank you.
Then we have the county limestone program. Sue sent out a request for our limestone. I think maps were distributed. We have about 1.25 miles of Romeo plank left coming down from Pratt. Last year, they used the balance of the material. And
So we did some of Romeo Plank last year?
Romeo plank from center north until we ran out of material. It's about 1.25 miles-ish that needs
Did we,
to be
okay,
finished.
so we made it past Irwin Road?
Yeah, it's right around Irwin Road. You can tell
Okay.
where the gravel changes.
And then so on this map, there's a portion of McFall on the east side of North Avenue. Have we not done that stretch yet? or
Did
don't
I
think
not,
It's
that
not
was,
highlighted on here. I forgot to check the spreadsheet.
I'm sure it was done last year. I think that was
Is
part of
that last
finishing
Right
it.
here.
Yeah,
It says fall from North Avenue to Elmo.
to Olmo, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Three
what
from
roads,
I
Flame
forgot to
West
highlight that.
Township line.
what were you thinking for this year then?
Well, finishing Romeo plank for sure. And then, quite honestly, the heaviest traveled road that we have is 33-mile road between Romeo Plank and Powell. That's definitely a thoroughfare with that industrial complex, people coming in and going out there. And then, the thought process always was to go back to the beginning and start over again. Now, some of this, too, like McFall, between North Avenue and Coon Creek was done prior to 010.
Yeah, I would say that, I don't ever notice that being in bad shape.
Yeah, no, it's not, but I mean, that was done prior to me even
to
taking
this-
office.
To this list.
Yeah, the limestone was put in when we lived on McFall, so it's not included in here, but that was included in the map that we had, that applications were provided to. So our township will have one full application, True Road, between, was Ridge and Center. Got a second application because of the detour with the construction of the downtown, or the West Main Street reconstruction. And they didn't actually put it in until after it was finally
I
finished.
know. Yeah,
So,
okay. So how many miles, it looks like
It's
about
3 miles.
2 miles for, that part of 33 and Romeo Plank, so there's just a little stretch.
I think 33 is a little bit closer to a mile. From Powell, yeah, from
Yeah,
Powell.
there and there, so we have about 2 miles spoken for, maybe a little
2 and a
more you're
quarter,
thinking?
yeah, 2 and a
Okay,
quarter.
so that might use it all anyway. What would be
No, it's
the?
3 miles, we get 3 miles.
Well, it's kind of tonnage based, but anyway, where would you like, where
And
do
that
you
was
think
the other
next?
thing too, is the Romeo Plank is like a 2.5 lane road, not necessarily a 2-lane road like the rest of them, so it's very wide. It took a lot of
I
material.
suspect they'll maybe use it all, but we should still give them a third road in
Yeah,
case.
I'd like to do it by the mile, and then if they come up short, that's why we kind of say until you run out of material.
Yeah, so where would you like to, that's what I'm asking.
Well, that we can kind of leave up to the board. I would go back to our first roads and start over. I know that there's also been suggestions along the way of making some improvements to Omo. We do have residents on Omo.
Oh, I did mean to bring that up. So last year, Richmond Township did a portion of Omo, and this year they actually had a previous meeting already approved. The only portion that has not been limestone, so I would say unless we want to cover a portion that's already been limestoned on Omo, Richmond Township's handled, is going to handle under their contract the remaining mile and a part that was on
That'll
Omo
finish on it?
from center north, I believe it was.
Yeah, I just know one area.
I'm sorry, from,
Where
Omo.
they don't want limestone on Omo. So,
Well- Would it make sense just to have them stay on 33 until they run out of supplies?
that's generally what I started doing,
Just
because
cross
it was
from
kinda
the-
hodgepodge.
Right.
You finish a road
Alright.
and then you move on to the
Just
next
keep
one.
going easy.
Makes it easier on them.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
So
Start
one
them, start
and a
them
quarter miles on the Romeo Plank and then the remainder,
on
On
30.
33 Mile Road, yeah,
Romeo Plank.
south
Yeah,
from,
Powell.
or east from Powell Road,
Yeah.
okay.
till we run out of material.
Is that your motion, John?
Yep, we'll make a motion to do the balance of, Romeo Plank from Irwin to Pratt. And then 33 Mile Road from, Powell Road going east until they run out of material.
I'll second that.
Marie?
Yes.
Eric, yes. Wyatt, yes. Getzner?
Yes?
Remy?
Yes.
I will send an email to Sue and get that put to bed. That's great.
Thank you.
I did, so you know, to make a request to use it in the fire department parking lot and the park, but they won't do parks and parking lots, so. But I thought, even if we could get the limestone for cost from the county, we could push it around, but yeah, they won't go there. It's gotta stay on a county road, so. I tried. Okay, now we're moving on to code official. I'd spoken with Mike. Mike has declined returning back to the township. He worked with us and did the BSNA.
Great.
So I want to continue to track down somebody to come in and help us with code enforcement. Somebody with not only property maintenance background, but somebody that has more knowledge in the medical marijuana grow, because this has become very advanced. It's not a little thing anymore, so, the more we learn, especially about inspections and all this, and the new building codes being changed and all that, I think we need to, consider a professional from another community that does that on a part-time basis.
No doubt.
And I have been in touch with folks from Sterling Heights to talk to them about
Okay.
some of the things they've done.
And just so we're on the same page as far as the process, so if you find somebody that you think we should entertain, would there be two board members that maybe would do an interview so that we?
Sure. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, no problem. I'm just trying to find somebody that has that background right now.
Yeah, I
So,
understand. Just-
somebody that's actually done a few of them, and
Guess that's what I would like to see. If
And
you
also
find somebody,
required,
we'll
and also required
interview.
to understand the BSNA reporting. I think the most important part of that is now too, because now that we're aware of the fact that they put these in houses and the houses are moldy, I think that anybody that comes in to see a property eval, if there was a grow violation in a house, they need to know what potentially could be behind the walls. So it's not that, somebody didn't cut their grass or something like that. This
Such
potentially
as
could
chemicals,
leave,
black mold.
yeah,
You're-
this could leave marks where
You're
people
saying
can't see.
we need to properly document it, so we need somebody who can document it? Is that
Well,
what
in
you're
the
getting at?
BSNA, it's added right to the field sheet, right to the property. So that the code enforcement runs along with the property itself.
Gotcha.
It's not separate, it's not
Yeah.
like that's in my office and this is a
Yeah, I get
field
that,
sheet.
and I agree with that.
Single waste hauler ordinance.
Obviously, the board knows we've had several meetings, workshops, talking about the idea of a single waste hauler. On the recommendation from the attorney, and then as discussed by the board last meeting, we did authorize our attorney to draft an ordinance for a single waste hauler for residential collection. And so tonight it is a copy of an ordinance, so Treasurer Murray and I did review this and have a virtual meeting with our attorney. We had kind of asked some questions and made a few minor changes to it. So the way this process would work is we wouldn't want to adopt any ordinance until we're prepared to hire a contractor, otherwise everybody would be out of compliance right away, right? So we don't know if that'll even happen, this is still preliminary, but it was his recommendation that the board review this ordinance and discuss the ordinance to see if there's general support for it, even if we can't formally adopt it, but so that when it comes to that point, we're kind of there in an agreement. So that's what this is here. We don't want to make a formal action. This is specific to single-family dwellings, and this is not intended to address specifics that would be part of a contract, such as allowing businesses, to participate, or even so much as some of the specifics about billing, say discounts and stuff. So this ordinance is not intended to address that. We did ask kind of some of those questions, and we actually had them remove some items that we didn't think should specifically be in this ordinance, but that we may want to include in a bid spec. I do want to point out, I know there's been a lot of discussion, and I've failed to get support from some of the board on how we potentially would collect payment, whether it's through the township or individual pay. So this is currently written that it's billed from the waste hauler directly to the homeowners. Now that Bob Siebert, he did draft it that way. He in his experience, he sees it in many cases where it works, that it's billed directly. He recommended, which is not in here, he recommended that for delinquent bills, that there be something written into this ordinance that allows the township to collect those as part of delinquency. So that's been removed from this currently, but those are items that I think that we'll want to discuss further, or maybe even tonight. But especially once we get a draft bid spec, and I would like to have the contractors come in, potentially even at that time, to maybe give their input on how a contract would work, so that we bid it to get the best benefit to the residents. We may find that there's some changes to this then. That's all getting kind of confusing here, but there's things that can change on this ordinance, and we may want to change depending on how things shake out with the spec. I just think that's important to notify you guys.
Yeah, because our current waste hauler to transfer site, GFL, has offered to take a look at Jeff Gomez.
Yeah, and I think that whether Sarah and I and our attorney talk with them, or I personally think it'd be good to have them come, maybe even multiple come, before we put it out for bids, and when we talk about the contract.
Well, my thought would be to send him the ordinance and get his feedback on what he sees and what he's familiar with, because I know they all work with different ordinances in different townships.
Yeah,
And then he can give us feedback on that. If we have to change something before he comes and talks in public, he should probably be able to study it.
And they just went through this with Ray Township.
What's that?
GFL just went through this with Ray Township.
Did they? So,
At least to get his feedback on what I think, how I feel.
yeah, I don't know if it'd be better to do that now, or wait till we also have a bid specs to send, again, or in person.
You did have a draft, Jim.
We did have a draft. We haven't had the attorney review it. If I don't know if you guys had a chance to read this. I know ordinances are
No,
a little dry, but it really just talks about collection. It talks about hours that when it can be out there, the basics, and talks about enforcement. Certainly, like penalties. Certainly, it makes it clear that it's a single waste hauler, right? But again, this doesn't address businesses. It's not intended for that.
Well, I would just ask permission to run it by Jeff Gomez, just for his feedback.
Okay.
just so you could read through it.
Did anybody on
I've
the
read
board
it.
have any comments other than
No.
that, which that's a good one, to
Yeah,
concerns with what you read?
a little bit, just comments and maybe concerns too. I thought this was it's a great document. I thought it'd be very verbose for what it is. I just did
Yeah.
some comparisons on Washington Township, Harrison Township, and then I did a city on Warren, the city of Warren. And it was just a quick one pager, and it just told you what you needed to know. When I read this, a couple of things just kind of stood out where, one of them is like, we're gonna penalize you up to, we're gonna throw you, we could actually throw a resident in jail, it's like, I think it's a little bit of an overkill, this, do we need an ordinance?
The
And
key
if
is,
we
do
do,
they have to take their garbage with them, though?
do we need it, it seems like a lawyer definitely wrote this, and
Yeah,
the first 3 pages are definitions, and half these definitions aren't even in the ordinance, so I did a search on the rubbish, and it's like, well, I understand we need to define it, but maybe there's a body of knowledge that we can read, like in the contract? Maybe those
Well,
definitions.
so this ordinance is not related to the contract, it's really for our residents. And you're right, it's a lot of pages. I, quite honestly, didn't question that too much, because we asked our attorney to draft an ordinance, so I reviewed the ordinance, so I do get that, we're collecting garbage, how long of it should the ordinance be? That being said, it certainly addresses everything, in my opinion. There's always that penalty, how are we going to
Yeah,
enforce
I don't
it?
think
But
we
that
can.
doesn't mean we shouldn't have the penalty, because what if
We don't need to have it.
if you don't have a penalty, then what's the incentive to follow the ordinance, really? So, you have to have some way of
Just seem
enforcing
very
it.
intimidating. Another, like we said, protect that, on the first page, the township board has determined that a single hauler waste collection and disposal program for single-family dwelling will protect the health and be in the interest of the, I don't recall saying this is in the best health. I thought we're doing it for financial reasons, cost-effective reasons, having a uniform structure of when garbage is picked up, better for the roads, but those reasons weren't, and maybe I'm misreading
Well,
this,
I
the
would consider
public
that
health.
public health in some regards, I guess.
Yeah, ordinance is
The
good.
rats only run around on Thursday instead of Monday,
Yeah,
Wednesday.
yeah,
Thursday.
right. So the rat store, their buffet is gone.
Yeah.
Perhaps. I just wanted to be clear on why we were doing this for the township to begin with, because I truly believe it's cost effective to go with one, and we're gonna pass that cost
Yeah.
on to the residents. I just didn't get the public health out of that financial reason. Financial health perhaps, but not public health. I mentioned the comments being verbose and unnecessary to most of them, not all of them. And then billing, I wanted to know, why would we put the billing on how we're gonna bill in the ordinance? Why not we have that flexibility in our contract so that it's
Yeah, so
negotiable every 5 years, whereas opposed to paying a lawyer to update an ordinance every time we,
Yeah, we
Just
did
a comment.
talk about that a little bit. It didn't occur to me to ask, do we need a billing section, but we did,
I think the billing is up to the vendor.
We did
I wouldn't-
discuss,
the
should
township
we
shouldn't
have-
get involved in this
I
business.
agree.
Well, if we're doing delinquencies and penalties,
well, the only,
we're involved.
We're not.
Yeah, that's
well,
why you, like
currently
you
we're
said,
not,
have
so that was removed.
Jeff take a look at, can't hurt. Jeff,
Treasurer
take a
Murray
look
didn't
at
like that
No,
delinquency thing, yeah.
no,
So,
Treasurer Murray did not.
so right
know.
now, we don't actually talk about delinquent, there's delinquent accounts in here, but it doesn't talk about,
Well, that's something that
collecting through the-
perhaps, GFL could comment on by looking at this
Right.
and seeing, or any other provider, if you want to take a look at it and see,
get
they're
your
used to
professional
dealing
Sure.
with this,
yeah.
these things all the time, so, I would welcome
I'll-
their
and I'll
opinions.
send that, I didn't know if we should wait, but I'm happy to send it now. We could also, when we talk
Yeah, I would have
contract.
Jeff
I mean,
do
if
it.
that's what,
I-
Yeah.
yeah.
if the board agrees that, we can do that.
They're the professionals.
But
not
if
him.
we want, if we do want a single waste hauler, we have to have an ordinance that
You have
gives
to, yes.
the township the authority to require them to use that single waste
Right.
hauler.
I know the water and sewer ordinance in the village has penalties on it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, if there's nothing behind it, what's the point, so you do have to have a penalty. I know it might seem steep, but if that's the way the world works, have something.
Yeah, just have Jeff
Okay,
review it and get
well,
back
so,
to us.
again, this was just for, those are great
Yeah,
comments.
the
I'm certainly-
imprisonment, and I just, one more comment, is the publication of, and I don't recall us having to publish the ordinance that we did with cannabis.
Yes, we did.
We did.
was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every ordinance, yes.
That's a matter of fact,
So-
it doesn't become effective
Effective
until
until
after.
Until you publish it in
Published,
in a
right.
in a
But,
newspaper.
this type of ordinance doesn't require a public hearing though, correct? Is that different?
No, we don't have to have a public hearing, but we are
Yeah.
going to have a public
Yeah,
hearing.
but it has to be noticed, yeah.
I was even wondering if we could put it on the November ballot. I talked to you about that.
For this,
Yeah, for single waste dollar
Oh,
vote.
in November, yes, you can, yes.
gotcha. You mean wait that long, is what you're saying? That's a long time.
Well,
Well, the residents, they need to know a figure.
Yeah,
They're just not gonna say.
could it
"Oh,
go on
yeah,
the ballot,
yeah."
for the primary?
In August, as long as
Well, we
it's
definitely
ready.
we have to have a public hearing before we awarded a contract. So we will have a public hearing
Right.
Mhm.
as part of this process, which I strongly encourage anyway, because I wanna hear, I wanna see the prices, I want them to see the prices and see, we may find it's not worth it. I am concerned with the way we're wording things, that it may not be worth it. And we may not find that there's any real benefit because of, depending on how we bid it, so I wanna hear what the contractors have to say, to make it cost effective.
Yeah, we'll get this to Jeff.
So I'll handle that.
Okay.
I'll talk with you on the other ordinances you found that seem good examples, and after that, we'll have a meeting with Bob. I'll send it to you first, and we'll have a meeting with Bob to discuss that.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And what's involved in putting a ballot proposal
The
forward?
language just has to be submitted in appropriate time to Macomb County. There's a deadline.
And in your
Local
opinion, that
proposal.
would be specific to an ordinance, or just if there's interest in a waste
Single
hauler?
waste hauler,
Single wait.
correct. And that would be village and township, and then you could even see, who has the greater need, if there is, or if everybody's all in, so. It would tell us more what the public thinks as a whole.
Yeah, I think if I'll be shocked if there's not a majority that say they want it. I know there's people who are against it, but I think the majority do want it.
That would,
But that would
that would
make
certainly,
majority.
if whoever votes
Yeah.
would get a voice.
They can go in the August primary.
All right.
And put it on the election, the ballot, is that?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll put on the August primary,
Yeah.
find out what they think. I think that's appropriate, especially since the transfer site's been here so long.
No
Okay.
problem. Yep.
Thank you, Jim.
It's good, Norm. Detail.
Good start.
Yeah. Okay, RFP for our managed IT services.
Yeah, I'd like to submit this RFP to Mitten, so I wanted to bring this to your attention for your feedback, for your approval. Also, upon your opinion tonight, I'd like to have our lawyer look at this for vetting
Yep.
before submittal.
So last meeting,
It certainly is comprehensive.
Yeah.
yeah, so
Oof.
I know we talked briefly on this, but so your intention is to get a contractor to manage the security of our devices. Would this, right now we use IT, right? Is that right,
Yes.
for our website and stuff? Would this contractor, is that separate, or is the contractor handling website or email, or is this just a contractor handling the security of
No,
it?
good question. We're looking for a managed IT service provider, so they would handle both IT security, cyber-related, as well as
The tech,
IT help
Right.
desk,
But
backups.
that doesn't necessarily mean that they would be replacing
website
our
and-
contractor that handles our,
Would it,
But we don't
manages our
have a-
website.
We don't,
Contractor,
yeah, so when
yeah.
we first started this, one of the first investigations we had to do was what are we in now? Right now, we've been in business with IT right since 2012. We have no contract. So, we're vulnerable.
Yeah, well, so who, what I'm getting at is, who handles our website?
IT right.
If we need changes to it?
Well,
Our
we've-
website is,
We've got, what's it called? It's a different company that handles it. Dawn has questions. Kyle will help her with that.
Yeah, Schumacher.
Schumacher, yeah.
Okay, so who
Schumacher.
handles our email right now?
So that would be
IT
IT
right.
right.
IT right.
IT right
And the
handles that.
website hosting is
Yeah.
is a
And they work
subsidiary
together.
of IT, right, actually.
Yeah.
They are a related organization.
So our website is hosted by IT Right and serviced by Schumacher?
Hosted by Schumacher. It's a subsidiary of IT Right or a business.
Oh.
So IT Right was in the business of hosting websites, and they were like, this isn't our core business, so they offshored it to Schumacher.
Got it.
Wasn't on our behalf, they just told us what we did.
So what I'm getting at is if we put this out for bids, is somebody else going to be handling updates to our website? Is our website gonna have to be redesigned, that type of question,
No, then you'd have to get a whole new website company to do that. Right now,
Yeah.
the clerk's office does all the posting and everything. If you wanna get someone separate,
No,
then
that's,
you'd have to.
no, what I mean is like, if there's problems with it and stuff.
Now we
This is
just went
security related.
Yeah.
They're making
no,
sure.
it's,
No,
it's
this is-
security on IT.
Yeah.
It's maintenance as well.
Yeah, and we have a
'Cause
section.
I didn't see
Yep.
anything in, okay, I might have missed it then.
Yep.
Because if I didn't know what
No,
I was looking for.
it's good
That
questions.
talks about our website from just a general management perspective. Are we gonna have to revamp our website and have like a,
So,
don't get-
domain and security maintenance provider will
That's
ensure the
different.
township
You don't
domain
have
name,
to-
registration,
you can
DNS
have a
entries, and
revamp, but
SSL certificates.
You're gonna pay somebody to do that.
Yeah, are maintained.
That's different.
yeah, okay, that's all I wanna
Yeah.
make sure, that is different.
So that'd be in, section 8.
So right now, Jason, all you want is the attorney to review it before we send it out?
Yes.
Submitting?
Right.
I'll make a motion to send the proposed RFP to our attorneys for vetting.
Support.
Again, just trying to,
Mhm.
I know it's going to the attorney for review, and the motion isn't to put it out to bids yet, we're gonna see what they say. But, so right now, you're talking about how this includes how we access our email. This includes how, the storage here, would that be, it has to do with backup of our data, right?
That's
Which
right.
I think that's great. I know I've expressed concern recently, or previously about, like, devices, as long as I'm still able to access our webmail by a phone or a desktop, and not have to come here. That was a big concern. It sounds like
Right.
there's ways around that, there's secure ways to do that.
Yeah, what this RFP is asking is that we shut off a web browser-based email system and we go to a client-based. So on your mobile device, if it was Outlook or Microsoft 360, you would install that client on your, that app on your phone and access it through that app. If you were on a desktop, you would install the client, Microsoft Outlook.
So we're still able to use the email
Oh,
service
yeah.
that we have now, it's just how we access it for security reasons would
Security.
change.
You'll be able to access your email, but it might be a different service.
It might be a different service.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody might lift and shift it, so they'll take our DNS entries that IT Right is managing for us and put it within
Yeah.
their infrastructure. And whatever infrastructure they're supporting, email client or email service.
With better backup and better security.
And you did reference,
And it might be IT Right, we don't know, we're gonna open
Sure.
it up and see what they, we're just asking
I
for
mean, this-
better and,
this stuff's way over my head, so that's why I'm just trying to ask some basic
yeah,
questions.
no,
here.
good questions.
But it also addresses the ability to delete emails, or how does it, I guess I don't need to know the details, but is this addressing how to prevent either accidental or intentional deletion of emails? Is there a way to is that what they're gonna do, is store, even if we delete it on our email, it's still stored somewhere? Can that be addressed by an IT company?
Currently how it works is if we take an email off of the server to our computer, it's no longer on the server, you delete it here, it's not on the server.
Yeah.
Our thought would be that their server would store all of our emails, so you could take the email, but the copy remains in our domain.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's addressed in here.
That's
all.
what we're asking for. I'm asking for notations, the ability to assign notations, business record versus spam. Okay, just to help save costs, because over the long term, years and years of services, if they back up all of our emails, and most of it junk. You know, it's not doing us any favors. But if we can assign spam automatically, then those labels that we put onto that email, we know a business record versus spam, and we would eliminate spam. So in this request, what I'm asking
It doesn't even
for,
come to our computers and our phones, because right now I'm getting real estate.
I get junk email
Right.
frequently that says your name on it.
And-
That's the jumping thing. I mean,
unfortunately, you know, they,
I don't know.
when I say they, our
Did you buy
provider
those-
knows.
Did you buy
I
those
didn't-
gift cards,
yeah,
by the
no, I
way?
didn't.
You know, our provider knows spam versus email. You know, they do a relatively good job, but with web-based browsers, you get it all. You know, clients, thicker clients, smarter clients would eliminate a lot of that noise. And we won't back that up,
And it is noise.
yes.
All right.
And
this is-
the ghost supervisor that.
So we have a
emails us.
motion
$100
and,
gift
we have a
cards.
motion and a second to get this vetted by our attorneys?
Yes.
Now, just to, you know, I have a date of February, and we want to get this out in Mitten as soon as possible. So I guess it's their timeline, the attorney's timeline, on when they have time to read and digest this. Now, the reason I just wanted to go to the attorney is, one, to make sure, again, we're not legally getting into any contract that might put us in jeopardy. Most of this stuff above the requirements are boilerplate that I've gotten from our fire chief. I kind of used his template of an RFP, and I didn't change the boilerplate information. So that's another reason why I just wanted to run this by our attorney.
So realistically, this is gonna go to the attorney, it's gonna come back to the board in February, and then we would vote to
To put it in the,
put it on, out for
Right.
bids, yeah.
so the dates may change on our bidding dates.
Roll call?
Marie?
Yes.
Derek?
Yep.
Yes, Getzinger?
Yes.
Murphy?
Yes?
That seems to finish our order of business. We are going to go into a closed session to discuss the collective bargaining agreement for Local 5053, AFL-CIO, for a contract between April 1st of 2022 and March 31st of 2026.
Take your
So
motion.
at this time, I'd like to make a motion to go into closed session at 8:12.
Support.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll close it. Never correspond.
I will next week.
Thanks for coming.
Keep it up, kiddo. Term limited. Well, I hate that word.
It is.
I know.
Thank you for acknowledging my work, and we're going to continue to support.
Thank you very much for, it's been a long time.
Thank you for everything.
Yeah. How have you been?
What's your next
10
step?
years on the board now.
I don't know. You know, I mean.
It might have been,
I mean, I got a year left. before-
That's
Right.
right.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. So-
And I don't go to a lot
You're
of
not
those
a
parties
lame duck
anymore.
type of person.
I got a lot of work to do. And then,
Did ya? It got a little too,
a lot of stuff still to do. There's not.
too not local. Yes, exactly, political. You know, right, exactly. And that's why I like
I'd have to sit it out.
my township.
Okay.
I do something, I see it done, and if they need help, then I put the Santa Claus suit on and I become Santa Claus. So,
Right.
But they're so short. And
Right.
you really get into the groove and.
good, real good.
Really,
Well,
Yeah, you're
congratulations.
just getting going when it's like. you
Oh,
get with the
you'll
brakes
end up
on.
with our support.
So there's some people in Lansing that actually would like to see me stay around, but bring my institutional knowledge. You know, because 6 years is actually a lot of time.
Right.
I mean, in the legislature, the turnover. So, oh, by the way, I think Jamie Green's a great,
Nice to meet you.
it would be a great candidate to fill, carry on, take care of the local government.
Good to know.
And the marijuana, there's a whole chapter of rules on that,
Oh, yeah.
and they're trying to get the votes for 'em.
And everybody says this is gonna happen and that's gonna happen, and, you know, quite honestly, they should have thought about that when they passed the law, because it's really a cluster.
Oh, I mean, well, yeah, with the citizens
I
initiative,
know.
I have to go to the
Typical.
bathroom, I'm sorry.
Okay. It was a citizens initiative.
Right.
The legislature didn't pass that, so when you have, the reality is when the people run, when people introduce basically a bill and they vote on it, it doesn't go through the committee process, there's not vetting, there's not debate, there's not floor
Right,
debate.
so it's a hurry
So
up
any of
and
the issue-
backtrack and try to figure
Talking about
out.
the marijuana stuff, I assume?
Yeah, what you're saying, the problem with,
What a pain.
with the
You guys
citizens
must have an issue
initiative
with it
is
here?
that one
Yeah.
group writes it,
Yeah.
and
Just
they,
a lot
they
of-
get signatures.
It's not
And
just
I
here, but,
believe in direct democracy.
Armada hasn't
The
had a
problem,
real
there's no debate over
ordinance,
it.
so
There's
Right.
no
we
What
look
if?
in
What if
ourselves,
this?
When a
some
bill
people
goes
go,
through the
well, they're
legislature,
probably not gonna do
different
anything,
legislators
so.
will wait, you know, this, you do this,
There's
okay,
one
we'll
guy I
amend
know,
this,
because
okay,
somebody
this is-
offered to
this
rent
is-
his two
Right, it's
barns.
not
So
vetted
those
in
are
any
the
way.
one
Per
process.
barn.
Yeah,
So.
Until he found out he couldn't
but
get
the
the power he
package
needed to
we're
grow.
trying to address
Right.
it.
Like, I was like, well, that'd be hard to
Okay.
turn down the
The problem
money.
is when,
He didn't really,
when it's a citizen's
you know,
initiative,
not like
it's
he supported
it's not a
marijuana,
simple
but he
majority anymore. It's
didn't
a
wanna
super
turn down the
majority.
money.
So they have to.
I wanted to
four
say,
votes.
you know,
I support it, I
It's
think,
maybe
I
a bad
told
decision, but,
the sponsors, I support it.
do we get
There's
people
another
who
bill
buy
on marijuana. I
houses,
support
vacant
addressing,
houses, and turn them
as
into a
relates to
grow
the
house?
Safety for
That's-
firefighters and
That's,
the
cause I guess,
high commercial services on houses.
right.
But people
So,
don't,
Rep.
to me, if you don't know,
They
if,
chanted out.
I hate to
He
say
has
this,
a bill
but
on that.
Okay.
people,
You've
you're
heard-
not a bad
Yeah.
neighbor,
Sterling
people
Greg's
don't
been very
know.
aggressive.
It's not
I
like
hear
they're
that.
out searching
And
for
he's
it,
the
you
rep
know, like, but
of
these
Starbucks.
people aren't,
So they took.
they're there for
concerns.
profit, so they're
Okay,
not
this
good
Macomb
neighbors.
Township
They're doing all they
sounds
can, they're
very-
tearing,
Very, yes.
Steve
So-
from,
I
he lives
connected with
in,
Macomb Township and, you know.
Riley
and
Township.
A lot of them
Just
are
the guy bought like
aggressively going
40
after it.
acres,
That's
he
why I
thought
showed
somebody was gonna
them
move
all
into the
the
house, they
meetings
just,
they were doing.
all the junk that was in the house, they just took it out and
They-
threw
they
it
got
out
a
back
great
in the
example.
woods, and they're growing all, people breaking into the
It's
house
tough.
at night,
I know it's
yeah,
tough for
and
both
it's
of them,
because
but
they don't have
Right.
anybody who's
It's
doing
like on the
anything
back
about it,
part.
so,
We're like trying to play catch up, I feel like.
yeah, it's bad
Yeah,
neighboring, you
it-
know,
yeah.
it shouldn't be in
It is what
residential,
it is.
that's the thing.
But just share with you guys that, yeah, as far as this, I have told the sponsors, I support it, what can I do to help? Dealing with the marijuana issue and trying to, the home grows,
Yeah,
you know,
how do you enforce it, that's what we're running into, is, how do you,
I don't
Jeffrey,
think
maybe
that's-
you can become the enforcer after.
Yeah, there you go.
John's looking for a code enforcer.
Yeah, there you go.
You put us into this mess, you
yeah,
get us
code
out.
enforcement position.
Talk about fair play, right?
I had caused this mess, I've been trying to fix it.
It was definitely a vote.
That was a vote of the people.
Yep,
and,
it was.
People,
Well,
wow, and people.
It didn't pass in our, it didn't
Well,
pass in this area,
I-
but obviously it's not specific to
It
community.
passed in Richmond though.
Did it?
I'm pretty sure, because I remember I was campaigning that day, and I saw people who I've never seen voting, because I always do.
They came out to vote.
They came out to vote.
Okay, we're in closed session.
Oh, I
All right, yeah.
apologize.
Oh, yeah, we're waiting on people in the bathroom anyway. Are we going in there or sitting out here?
We're going in
No,
there.
we're going in there. Okay.
Because the-
Thanks, you too. No, no problem. Good to see you and thank
The,
you for everything.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Recording is still working, so while we're not
Yes.
here,
Yep, so we have to go in there.
I did stop the recording on the, oh, man. Yep, I had to go and flip my papers right on top of all the stuff I had separated.
This John's office that never gets used every year. John, I'm gonna work in your office because my internet really.
Well, I'll tell you what. There it is.
I'm wearing out my welcome in my friend's house. I'm called the Slaughter.
He hasn't kicked you out yet. cooler out here.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
This whole heating system out
it's warmer in the
just
office.
sucks.
That was a long
Okay, I need my
discussion.
coat on. It's cold.
I was getting hot, so it feels good.
I'm coming. I had physical therapy today, and once I sit like that for a while, it just gets started again.
Spectacles on.
Yeah, you gotta get the body moving again.
The worst part is the good knee that got replaced is actually feeling stronger than the bad knee that didn't get replaced yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to leave our closed session at 9:35.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. We have in front of you our collective bargaining agreement for Local 5053 AFL-CIO. That covers from April 1st of 2022 to March 31st of 2026.
Yep, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agreement between the Township of Armada and Armada Township Firefighter Paramedics, International Association of Firefighters, Local 5053, AFL-CIO for April 1st, 2022 to March 31st to 2026 as presented.
I'll support.
And then I'm not, won't say too much, but obviously we had quite a bit of discussion in closed session. And this is the first time that the board has had a chance to look at this. And we, again, had good discussion. There's just a couple things, there's quite a bit on there that's added. And there's just a couple of things that I think should be looked at again, and I would certainly encourage, I hope that the board's willing to send this back to the union for them to consider a few minor changes before it's approved. Thank you.
I too would like to see the board take it back for further consideration and future discussion.
Good discussion.
I'll take a vote. Murray?
Yes.
Grimby?
No.
Swacky, yes. Getzinger?
No.
Federer?
Yes. It was good discussion.
Yeah.
I understood your point. I did. It was good debate.
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 9:37.
Support. No, let's stay.
All in favor?
I got,
Aye. Oh. Some comments?
yeah.
Oops, never mind.
You guys want to make any comments? Trustee Getzinger?
Nope, thank you.
Trustee Grimby?
No comments, thank you.
Treasurer Murray?
None, thank you.
Clerk Swacky?
No, sir.
I need to send our heartfelt condolences to John and Chris Martin. John's father passed away, Joe of COVID, and she's our deputy treasurer. So I wanted to be sure to say, on behalf of the township, deepest regrets, deepest sympathy. So,
Appreciate it.
motion to adjourn at 9:38.
You want a second?
Oh, second, yes.
All in favor?
Aye.